Hello, hello, hello. Good evening and welcome to the Tessa-Marie show. Today is Thursday and it's August 19th. It's already that late in the month. So you can imagine what that's like. So tonight we're going to talk about your relationship and the pillar of spiritual prosperity. Now, as you know, we have been working on the pillars really getting the pillars going. And one of the things we are doing with the pillars is making sure that you understand those 5 pillars are like a compass to a good life, a compass to a perfect life, a compass to helping you live your best life. So that's why I'm taking different areas of life and I'm showing you the alignment with them and the pillars of prosperity. So tonight, it's the spiritual pillar of prosperity and what it has to do with your relationship. Because this whole week is relationship week. Relationship in life does not always have to be between a spouse or a husband and a wife or a significant other. Your relationship has to do with each and every human being you interact with. Your relationship has to do with some of the people you don't even interact with on a daily basis. Some of your relationship has to do with me. And most of you have never met me, I have never met you, but we meet through this amazing tool called the internet. And there we are, hours and hours away, time zone away from each other, and we're connecting. So our personal relationship is important because some of my beliefs might align with yours and some of my beliefs might be away from yours, but nonetheless we have a connection as a human being. And the internet is allowing us to explore this wonderful connection and be in each other's space and have the opportunity to enjoy what we have to offer. So at the Tessa-Marie show, at 7 p.m., I'll sip some water. At 7 p.m., Monday to Friday, we touch on the 5 pillars of prosperity and we use different aspects of our life. So tonight is your relationship and your spiritual prosperity. Now, when people hear about spiritual prosperity, right away they attach it to a religion. But that's not necessarily so. I will define the two separately so that we understand which one I'm talking about. A religious person follows the teachings, the rules, the guidelines of his religion, following their rites and what they believe in, the way they worship, right? So each religion has rites and beliefs and things they follow and pomp and ceremony that goes with it. And a religious person follows that particular dogma, that particular type of teaching. And by all, some people are so into it that they will not see another religion of having absolutely any kind of effect one way or the other. And a lot of us go to the point where we say, my religion is the true religion. If you do not worship under my religion, then you're not worshiping at all. If you do not worship under my religion, you're going to go to hell. And that's what some people believe. But the spiritual person, when I talk about spirituality, I talk about the person that does not care what religion you're under. That person is really only concerned with their inner being, their soul, holding themselves up to a certain standard. Most often, a spiritual person will follow the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated, not like as you want to be treated. So that person, a spiritual being, has a certain practices they follow for themselves. It's all about the connection with themselves and how they look at the world on their own and their beliefs inside, how they treat other people. And they really are more concerned about the soul the heart, and keeping it aligned with nature. It goes a lot. It spreads out a lot into many little areas. That also has a variety of areas. Just like religions have several different types of religion beliefs under different types of rules and dogma and rites, a spirituality also has a variation. Some people might be concerned entirely with the soul. Some people are concerned about what you think of others. Some people are concerned about how you react. Are you judgmental? Do you follow the golden rule? So you see, spirituality does not follow a religion dogma. It follows a heart, soul, inner thing going in within you. So that's why I align your spirituality with the relationships in your life. So how do you treat others is important. How do you look at others? How do you respect them? How do you honor their beliefs? Do you want to press your dogma on them? That is not being a spiritual being. A spiritual being is making space in this world for others. A spiritual being is letting others be who they are. A spiritual being reserves their judgment to themselves. A spiritual being live and let live. A spiritual being is there to help. A spiritual being is there to serve by listening, by observing, by counseling, by testing others and saying, this is where we need to be. Let's look at that. You're having a hard time. I can help you. That's what spirituality is being available to stand in somebody's place when they are not able to stand in the place for themselves. They are not able to bend the rules to suit them. They are not able to do certain things. So a spiritual being will step in and say, I can help you get over this. I can show you how to do this. I can show you how to behave. I can show you how to react. I know how to do this. I'm offering you my services. A spiritual being will observe. A spiritual being is always observing around them. They're very observant. They actually work with the energy of the earth. A spiritual being takes in the energy around them. They can read an energy. They can read the feeling of an aura of another human being. A spiritual being is tolerant of others' behavior. But a spiritual being does not have to conform to that behavior. Whereas in a religious environment, that religious person might not like the religious habits of some, but they conform to it because that's the dogma, the teaching, the rites of that religion. A spiritual being will leave it alone and say, okay, that's all right. We're not going to deal with this with you. That's your belief, and they accept you for who you are. A spiritual being lets you have the room to be that magnificent and amazing human being you are. A spiritual being knows when to lift you up. A spiritual being knows when to tell you it's okay. A spiritual being will not point out your faults to you. I say, oh, you're this, you're ugly, you're crooked, your knees are knocking, you're walking this way, you're not walking that way. A spiritual being will not see you're too fat or you're too slim. A spiritual being is so concerned with the soul and their inner belief and their inner joy and their inner radiantness and energy that they send out to the world, and accepting the energy of the world, that as a spiritual being, they do not criticize. A spiritual being is almost that they have been elevated to a level of being way up there and looking down, but with kindness and with love, with understanding, with passion for the other person's well-being. So that when you align your spiritual beliefs with your relationship, you have a better life. You have a more contented life. You have a more peaceful life. You have a more enduring life. You have a more easier life. You have a life more full with acceptance of others and their behavior and how they look and how they feel. So as a spiritual being, because you put so much of yourself into that other human being, spiritually, when you do that, you see life from their side. Whereas a religious person will tell you, my religion is the best, my beliefs is the best. If you don't believe follow my religion, you won't go to heaven, you're going to go to hell. They follow the rites and the dogma of their religion. That's what they do. They believe that their religion and only their religion has the key to the heart of God. And it's only passing through their religion you will get to the other side. There is no other way but their way. So their rites, their dogmas, their teachings, their beliefs is above everybody else. Whereas a spiritual being is very happy to leave you be. A spiritual being concerns with the soul, the mind, the feelings. A spiritual being is like a person that has their ear to the ground. They feel energies. They see somebody's energy. They feel somebody's, where the energy is flat. But the spiritual being is not going to tell you, you must change your energy to, or else you'll go to hell. The spiritual being will recognize your energy and say, okay, if you were to say, you know what, I need to change, my energy is low, and you have a relationship with that person, the spiritual being will say to you, you know what, this is what I did when my energy was low. A spiritual being is able to forgive more easily because they do not follow a set of rules or dogmas. Somebody might have killed them, hurt them, not killed them, hurt them, but they still have the ability to let go and say, it's okay. Someone asked me once, who had hurt me so badly, do you forgive me? And I said, yes. If I hadn't forgiven you years and years and years ago, I couldn't be here right now. I had to forgive you as a spiritual being and go on my journey. I had to do that for myself. So your spiritual feelings, being, and your relationship has to be aligned. You will see the life through the eyes of those relationships you have. You're not going to tell them they must change or else. You're going to be able to accept them as they are and wait for the moment when they open the door to say, hi, help me, that you say, I am available. What it is you want. Not telling them this is what you should do. A spiritual being lets the relationship find its way. If you're a spiritual being, you believe so much in the inner self, the heart, the soul, the mind, the thinking, the energy, that you do not work as hard to change another human being. You stroll on the same path with them, and when the time comes for you to divert yourself from the path they are on, you do it seamlessly. No drama. The drama is left on the path. You don't pound them on the head. You don't say, you don't fight. You have gone as far as you could in that relationship, in this situation, with those energies. And you are aware. You are very aware. The spiritual being is very aware that those energies do not suit me any longer. I am not able to go through with them. So they will go on the journey for a while. Then very quietly, seamlessly, no effort, no drama, they go onto the path where they will meet people of the same spiritual beliefs and feelings. Although I said earlier, there's various levels of spirituality. There's various feelings among them. Just like there are various religious beliefs. The difference is the spiritual beings learn to accept spiritual beings as being individuals, and no one is the right way. They will accept each one as being just that. So when you are going to align your spiritual belief with your relationships, you have to learn to live and let live. You have to learn to, these are some areas in the relationship that is not up for discussion. For example, you will not go into a headlong discussion that will raise the temperature of the room, the temperature of the people in the room, the thoughts and actions of the people in the room, because you're discussing a religious situation that you know that can flare up at any time. The magical thing about a spiritual being, they know that is not a place to go. They will nod, they will accept, and they will let it be. The spiritual being has that calmness in them. So the spiritual being is not going to say, my religion is the only true religion. Because a spiritual being does not understand that. They understand the soul, the heart. You are blessed, you're gifted, you're talented in your own way. Your soul is your soul. Your heart is where love starts. Your thoughts and generates it. And a spiritual being will say, it's okay to be you, that magnificent specimen of a human being. A spiritual being finds no faults in how you pray, when you pray. A spiritual being let you be you. As I said, the spiritual being will be on the journey with you for years and years and years. And they may not, and they perhaps will not ever discuss religion with you, a dogma or rights and beliefs. They will accept yours is this way. And in turn, they expect you to accept theirs is this way. So when you have to align your spiritual beliefs with your relationship to be that amazing spiritual being, you let them be who they are. You do not have to get trapped in their energy. You don't get into an argument with them. You accept them. You put that part of their life on a shelf. You continue the relationship with them because you need to have relationship with people of different races, different color, different choice, and spirituality is just one of the other ones. And yet you can have a conversation. But you know how far to go. So it's, as I said, it's like traveling on a path with a like-minded friend in certain ways. And there comes a time when the path splits. And very gently, no drama, no anger, no anything, you find your own path. And they find their own path. But sometimes the energy that is holding them together can hold them together through those things. I have known husbands and wives and families that have different beliefs, yet they were able to stand with each other at certain times. And sometimes they would fidgetly show up in a service that they don't understand. A place they maybe never would go on their own. But because somebody they value in their life, I say, would you like to come to my church with me, my synagogue, my mosque with me, my temple with me? And just to make that person feel that they're a part of their life, they go. So that's what relationship will do. You do not have to believe it, but you sometimes have to support the person who believes it. And how you do that is showing up when they ask you to show up. Rather than have a fight about which religion is the best and what you should do, because I am a spiritual being that believes in my heart, my soul, I follow the golden rule. Treat others as you want to be treated, not like, as. The same way. That doesn't mean I cannot respect you. And that doesn't mean if you ask me to drop in your synagogue, your temple, your mosque, your church, that I will not come. I'll come. I will observe. I might like the songs that they sing. I might like the chanting that they do. I might like how they raise their hand to worship and how they feel the soul of their God is coming on them. I might love a lot about it, but I do not have to be part of it. And that's what a spiritual being does. And they expect the same from you. So I believe in heart, body, soul, and mind. Therefore, I am not asking anyone as a spiritual being to do that. But on the other hand, do not ask me to be who you are. We weren't created to be like that. Your religion person follows a dogma, a rite, teachings of a particular religion and how they worship. A spiritual being touches the soul first, the inner part of them. So that's why I use spirituality as a pillar, because it encompasses the person's entire life. It does. It teaches you how to be and let others be how they choose to be. So align your spirituality with your relationship, no matter who the relationship is coming by, knowing there are sometimes you need to reserve your opinion. If it's going to cause drama and it's going to rock the boat and it might sink the boat, pull back. Pull back and let the waters calm. Do not take it up. When somebody is criticizing a belief of yours, your faith or your religion, you have to be at the moment. Choose the moment. You cannot even say when they're being critical that please do not discuss my spirituality. Because you're just actually I'm putting some more oil on the fire. You're igniting it. It's like giving that simmering fire some more wood. Throwing some kerosene on it, some gas. So that is the time you need to be really spiritual. Show your spirituality by going inside. Going inside of you and resting in your soul. Resting in your heart and let the waves calm down. Resting in your heart and let the fury of the storm go down. That is not the time to pump up your chest, pull your shoulders back, chest out, attitude, and take a warrior stance. This is not the time. To get your pillar of spirituality strong, you need to align it with life. And life comes in several different shapes and colors. A spiritual being is in tune. They just know when to speak. They just sometimes know how to talk. That does not mean that a religious person doesn't have those qualities either. They do. The difference is some of us who are extremely religious believe who we are and what we practice is the only way out. We believe it's through our religion that you will find the key to the heart of God. Whereas God is no respecter of persons. He could give the key to his heart to the person, to the lesser among us. He could give it to that person that you look and see on the street who has no home, who has no address, who has no shoes, who barely has clothes to wear in the winter, and can hardly sit still in the summer because of the heat. That person can have the key to the heart of God. We don't know. The lesser of us is sometimes the stronger of us, the more blessed, gifted of us. So one of the things we have to make sure is that being spiritual does not mean that that person is lost. Their soul is not any more lost than the religious fanatic or dogma person that has rights. Do not criticize. Do not fight. Do not try to get them to convert to your belief. Because we were all created in a unique way. As I said seconds ago, God is no respecter of person. None of us knows for sure who he has given the key or she has given the key to her heart. We don't know. It could be that person that is sitting on the grate on the street corner. As I said, you have to remember, he said, I will be in the lesser among us. So choose rightly to use your spirituality to keep your friendship healthy. Do not take your religion and replace your spirituality with a religion and point your finger and tell people what they should do and how they should do it. And if you do that to me, I might bite off your index finger. That's how I feel about it. Keep your finger to yourself and don't say you are going to go to hell because you have no proof of that. Because I am not following your religious teachings or your dogma, your rites. So when you hear me talk about spirituality, I'm talking about your belief in your soul, in your heart, and your belief that you want everyone to treat each other as we treat ourselves. Not like ours, that's the proper word. And let each of us grow. So your friendship is stronger if you let that person be themselves. That very same person can be in your home with you and they believe something else, then you know that and you let it go. Your job is not to tell them that what you practice is the only way to heaven. None of us have a map. And because furthermore, to tell this to me would be like throwing water on a duck's back. Because as far as I'm concerned, heaven is a state of mind. And so is hell. None of those places you can find them on this earth. It's always a state of mind. So align your spirituality and keep it away from destroying your relationship. If the energy of that relationship does not match your spiritual energy, then take it as far as you can take it. And when there is a break in the road, go and find your path. Make a left turn, a right turn, or continue walking with them. You cannot convert them to your religion. It is not your job to do. If that person has observed that your spirituality gives you joy and happiness and peace and kindness, and you feel so much better, and you're not stressed about the world coming to an end, and you're not using your index finger like a whip in their faces, and they will say, how do you do that? How do you maintain that calmness, that peace? How do you see love and light in everyone? Then you offer. That's because I believe that each person has their own magnificence of God in within them, whatever the God they purport to be. So take the time to align your spirituality for sure with your relationship. So doing that, you understand them and you let them be the person and the religious or the spirituality they want to follow. And you do you. And let them do them. Even as a mother, I have a certain belief. I raised my children in the belief. And when they got to be 18, I stopped making them do things. My part of the journey in their life at that time came to an end. All I can hope is that the type of teachings I impressed on them remains with them. And they now impress it on their children. And the line continues to treat others as you want to be treated first and foremost. And be the best you can be for yourself and for no other. Do not conform and take somebody else's position just to be liked and to be favored and to be loved by them. Because you first have to love you in order for you to spread some love to others. So in your relationship, do not put your spirituality in a hole and cover it just to maintain a relationship. Because guess what? You're going to kill your spirituality and you will still destroy the relationship you're trying to preserve because you are not being you. You are not being the person you were created to be. And remember, no one, not one of us knows who has the key to the heart of God. And if you know for sure you have it, then hold on to that key and use it sparingly. And but when you get there and you find you open that door and you open the heart, God took the key and you open God's heart, and you have the opportunity to touch that heart, do not waste it. Give it your all. So your spirituality and your relationship has to be aligned. But it must bring you joy. It must give you some satisfaction. It must raise your energy. If that relationship is zapping your energy, you need to question it. You mightn't question the person, but you need to have conversation with self and say, why? Why is this thing making me feel like this? What can I do to change that feeling? It's killing me. Sending you light and joy. Have an absolutely wonderful evening. Thank you for joining me, each and every one of you, for coming. Thank you, Aman, for joining us so early, right on time. Hi, Aman. Thank you for being you. And hello, Rosie. You are amazing as usual. Thank you. Hi, Vanessa. Thanks for dropping in. Hi, Faith. Thanks for being here. Hello. Hi, Christina. It's a pleasure to see you. I pronounce your right name. Hi, Christina. Yes, Aman, you're getting better at this. That's good. Be listening. Late cooking dinner. Thanks, Christina, for joining us. Here my morning coming, Christina. 4:52. Ha ha ha. But I'm still awake. Oh, I'm sure I'll see you somewhere else later. Hello, Arita. How are you this wonderful evening? Everybody's here. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. It was a wonderful Thursday evening, hot. Everybody's enjoying the night, having fun. And I hope the pillar of spirituality and your relationship gave you something to think about. That's what I come here to do. Just tickle the senses and let you look and say, yeah, I got it. I got my pearl. I got my rare black pearl. I got my nugget. And of course, I got that rare, stunningly beautiful pink Canadian diamond. Sending you light and joy. Have a great evening.